My fiancée wanted me to sell my family home because, and I quote, her friends wouldn't like it. So I refused, and she left. Let me tell you the whole story. I grew up in this small, old house. It's nothing fancy, but it's got something you can't buy: history. My grandfather built this place with his own 2 hands decades ago. Every corner holds a memory, from family Christmases to my first scraped knee. It's not just a house, it's my roots. So, when I brought my fiancée Clara here for the first time, I was excited to share this part of my life with her. But her reaction was less than enthusiastic. She walked in, looked around, wrinkled her nose, and the first thing she said was, "It's quaint. But you should really sell it." I just laughed. I mean, she had to be joking, right? This was my family home. A week later, I realized she wasn't joking at all. She sat me down, completely serious, and laid it all out. "Look," she said, "I'm serious. You need to sell this house. It's old, it looks run down, and my friends would never like it. We should move somewhere modern, something impressive." I was just stunned. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I tried to explain, "Clara, this isn't just a building. This is my family's legacy. My grandfather built this. My parents raised me right here. This house is filled with our memories." I thought if she understood the emotional value, she'd see things differently. But she just rolled her eyes. "Memories don't pay the bills," she scoffed. "Do you want a life that people admire, or do you want to cling to some dusty old building?" Her words hit me like a ton of bricks. It felt like she was asking me to choose between her and my entire past. The conflict was brewing, and it was about so much more than just a house. It was about what we valued, what we considered important in life. And it was becoming clear our values were worlds apart. The weeks that followed were tense. The topic of the house became this massive elephant in the room. Clara completely stopped visiting my family. She'd make excuses every time I suggested we go see my parents. She started avoiding my hometown altogether, saying it was too provincial. The pressure was constant. Every conversation somehow circled back to me making the right choice and selling the house. It felt like she was trying to chip away at my resolve, piece by piece. She'd send me listings for sleek, modern apartments in the city, talking about how we could host these amazing parties and how impressed all her friends would be. It was all about appearances, about projecting a certain image. She couldn't understand that my home wasn't about impressing anyone. It was about honoring the people who came before me. My refusal to budge became a major point of contention. She saw it as me being stubborn, as me not prioritizing our future together. But from my perspective, I was protecting my identity, my heritage. The tension finally came to a head one night. It was late, and we were having another one of those conversations. But this time, her tone was different. It was cold, final. She looked me straight in the eye and gave me an ultimatum. "This is it," she said. "Sell the house, or I walk. It's me or this old pile of wood." In that moment, everything became crystal clear. I looked at her, then I looked around the room. My eyes landed on the pictures hanging on the wall, my grandfather smiling, proudly standing in front of the finished house. A photo of my parents laughing in the living room. A picture of me as a kid covered in mud in the backyard. The walls weren't just walls. They were a scrapbook of my life. This house had seen me through everything. I took a deep breath and said calmly, "I can't sell it. This house is a part of me. And if that's a deal breaker for you, then I guess this is goodbye." There was a long silence. She just stared at me, probably expecting me to cave like I had on smaller things before. But this was different. This was a line I couldn't cross. Without another word, she grabbed her purse and walked out the door. Just like that, it was over. The silence she left behind was deafening, but underneath it, I felt a strange sense of relief. I had chosen myself. Months went by. The initial heartbreak faded, replaced by a sense of purpose. Instead of feeling empty, the house felt like it was waiting for a new chapter. So my parents and I decided to give it some love. We spent weekends restoring it, not changing its character, but bringing it back to its former glory. We sanded down the old wooden floors, gave the walls a fresh coat of paint. And I even started a garden in the backyard, just like my grandmother used to have. The house started to feel alive again. I invited my friends over, my real friends. We'd have barbecues in the garden, sit around the fire pit, and fill the rooms with laughter. The house was no longer a point of conflict. It was a source of joy, a place of connection. It felt right. Then, out of the blue, I got a text from Clara, and then another. She started calling, leaving voicemails. She said she'd made a huge mistake, that she missed me, that she missed the life we could have had. She painted this picture of regret, saying she realized what was truly important. But I had already moved on. I was in a different place, literally and emotionally. And then I heard from a mutual acquaintance what had really happened. Clara had gotten what she wanted, a brand new, modern apartment in the city. But her life wasn't the glamorous dream she had imagined. Her friends weren't as impressed as she'd hoped. She hated the sterile cookie-cutter building. She felt isolated and lonely, lost in a city that didn't care about her. That's when it truly hit me. Love isn't about forcing someone to change or abandon the things that make them who they are. It's about building a future together while respecting each other's pasts and values. My house was never just wood and bricks. It was my life, my family, my roots. It's the story of where I come from. And I learned that you should never have to tear down your foundation to build a life with someone else. If they ask you to, they're not the right person to build with. My home is still standing, stronger and happier than ever. And so am I. Thanks so much for listening to my story. It's a bit of a personal one, but I felt it was important to share. If this resonated with you, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more stories like this. See you in the next one.